Welcome to the Smite Force Chronicles. Today's episode's brought to you by Menin and corporate slide decks. All right, I assume you guys can hear me.
Yep.
No one's, and you guys heard my intro, right? Awesome, because there was no reactions. I'm not as funny as I used to be, but you guys heard the jingle music, right? I mean,
the backcountry banjo.
Yeah, that was great. I have a lot to choose from. I want for our commercials. I have that. There's this one. Sometimes life is hard, and to get through it, you need fuck it all. Anyway, all right, here we are. All right, so when we were here last, you guys had really saved Tempe from death. He took on a Minotaur skeleton. It did not go well, but, and she doesn't know this yet, Melan swooped in and kicked its ass, leaving it in as a pile of bones. You did some looting. You found some good stuff. I'll let you guys review what your stuff that you found was. That's on you guys to discuss as a party. We introduced the concept of party storage. If you look, there's now this little backpack that you can drag stuff into. You open it up, you double click it, and you can put stuff in it. It is your party storage. Melan, I'm not sure if you were here for the last time. I'm sorry. Alexandria. I'm not sure if you were here for when no sooner had Tempe like run to the north and attracted a Minotaur that David ran to the south and fell into a pit. That is that big pit that he fell into. You can fall into the pit, so don't get too close to the pit. I think you can fall into the pit. I can't remember how I set it up. So what you learned? No. And once this one was open, it was open. So what you learned about this was that this place is full of monsters guarding treasure and secrets and traps to foil your progress through the vault. So, quick lesson, kind of like when you're playing a video game for the first time, the first level is sort of getting you into the mode. Tread lightly is sort of the plan here. Now, you made your way down to this southern area, and I believe it was Glory peeked into the room to the west. I'm sorry, to the east. No, it was to the west. Yeah, to the room to the west. North, south, east, west. And swore that she saw something across the room in the darkness, in the shadows, sort of move a little bit. Wasn't sure about it. Sort of felt like there was maybe something in the room to the south as well. But again, she didn't make any eye contact, and her thought was like, maybe we should steer clear for a moment. And that brings us to today. Here you are. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. You guys just did a short rest. It was a short rest, correct? Not a long rest. It was a short rest. Tempe did offer that perhaps long rests are okay because you guys have found a couple of breathe underwater spells. Yeah. So, but I don't know that you guys have taken stock of like how many you have, right? And would it be enough if this entire thing filled with water? Now, I'm going to do a party roll. I don't know if you guys have experienced this one yet. New plugin. Some of you have. But here's a party roll, and I want you all to roll for insight. And I will do the rolling for Tempe. And we're missing Tyros and Alexandria. Oh, we got Alexandria's.
I just logged back into the game. Can you roll for me?
Yep.
It's not showing by my system. I had to restart.
No, I'm sorry.
Thanks. That's
All right. So here are the results. They should have appeared in. Do you guys see the results in the chat window?
Yep.
Cool. I'm never sure of what you guys see, so let's. But now I know. All right. So it looks like. Thank God Alexandria is with you, because the rest of you wouldn't have known diddly. So Alexandria puts on her thinking cap, right? And she's thinking to herself, all right, so we know it seems like a year ago that you guys were in the Jade Temple, and made your way into this sort of underwater crypt. But underwater crypt is a more and more sort of meaningless phrase, because other than the first level where there was the seawater sort of at risk of filling in the room, the rest of this journey has been somewhat dry, right? As a matter of fact, it's awfully warm, and with that magical gateway to get down to this vault, she begins to wonder if indeed this would ever fill with water. Is there such a time crunch? And if this place fills with water, what's up with all the lava? And I'll leave you hanging them for the rest of that. A little insight for you.
You guys, I just thought of something.
I love it.
I thought, I know this is supposed to be like an underwater cave, but is there even a time crunch? We haven't seen much water. And also, like, why is there so much lava?
Maybe to make underwater lava? Did Jar
Here's how you make obsidian. That is not how you make obsidian, so it would be very useful.
Awesome. That's it is what it is. All right. All right. So you guys have your characters are sort of scattered throughout. Nothing significant happened during your short rest. Nothing came out of the treasure room. I'll try to act on behalf of Tempe. Tempe's super interested in a reminder. You can scroll up in the chat window. You guys found one of the last things that I think happened here is you found Baphomet's Quiver of Holding, right? This was not the first Baphomet thing I think that you found. And even in this level, I think you found what, arrows? So
Arrows.
yeah. So can you guys share sort of a quick summary, an elevator pitch of sort of what are the interesting things that you guys have that you want to share? You don't have to. Oh, and by the way, I made it so that if you take something from a chest, it doesn't broadcast it to the rest of the team.
Ooh.
You're welcome. Let the pilfering and stealing from each other begin.
So an update for Baphomet's Quiver of Holding. This is a beautiful leather-clad quiver in which I can hold many, many arrows. I have a short compartment that can hold up to 60 arrows or bolts. I have a mid-sized compartment that can hold up to 18 javelins. Yes, javelins will fit into this quiver. I also have a compartment that holds 6 long objects, such as bows, quarterstaffs, or spears. The weight of all of these items does not affect my encumbrance, so I can hold many, many things, such as this pole that will suspend in air or wherever we decide to put it.
Wait,
So
you have
that
a
is
pole?
Baphomet's Quiver. No, there is that pole that I think Tempe had found.
Yeah, that's a rod. You
Or the rod, sorry.
You were gonna give it to me.
The quiver?
Remember? Not the quiver, the rod.
Right.
I said I like rods.
I don't actually
No.
have the rod with me. It's still where Tempe had found it, but I'm just saying that this quiver can hold said rod if we need to.
Oh.
He didn't take the rod?
Then well, no,
I did
I'm
not
gonna.
take the rod. No, the rod.
Anyone want to remind me where the rod was?
I think in the northern. I think it was near the northern chest before where the Minotaur came out. But I may be slightly mistaken.
Ah. Because I cleared that. I just want to put it back. So, all right. So no one else has a rod, right?
But if you want the rod, it's fine. It makes sense in your quiver.
What? Is there like something special about this rod? I think that was the day that I had to leave early, so I don't remember that. Is it?
Well, he did look at it, so I can refresh you guys' memory. So, let me send this to the chat. Picture. So this is what's called an immovable rod. And, this flat iron rod has a button on one end. You can use this as an action to press the button, which causes the rod to become magically fixed in place. Until you and another creature uses this action to push the button again. The rod doesn't move, even if it's defying gravity. The rod can hold up to 8,000 pounds of weight. More weight causes the rod to deactivate and fall. A creature can use the action to make a DC 30 strength check, moving a fixed rod up to 10 feet on a success. So basically, even when it's stuck, if you can roll a DC 30, you can move the rod a little bit up to 10 feet. So basically, think of it as if you had a couple of them, you could use it, make an impromptu ladder. That sort of a thing.
Are you saying
right?
we can also, if we're suspended in air, can we press the button and quickly jerk up and let it go again to try and sort of shimmy our way again, further defying gravity, or is that going to require an athletics check?
It will require both a strength check and an acrobatics check, right? Because basically what you're trying to do is, can you move your hands faster than you fall, right? Because as soon as you push that button, you start falling. Can you move your arms up faster than you fall? That's the only way you could inch up. And then when that thing immediately stops moving and you yank down, can you hang on? Right? So
David is trying to do an immovable rod salmon ladder.
Yeah, I'm picturing him doing that.
Yeah.
Now, what you could do that if you had two, right? But anyway, clearly Glory has thought through how this could be handy in many instances. So
It could help bar doors and stuff if we needed.
Also,
Indeed.
If you use it as a weapon and you puncture something, you can, and then push the button to hold it, you're now piercing it to the ground. Or if you hold it and then you have it against its neck, then it's stuck there. So I'm just saying, don't
it's clear, Glory's I know she's thought about this during her short rest, right? That immovable rod. And so it is in that chest, north. You guys just left it there, right? And Glory, you sort of think to yourself, maybe the strategy of everyone going and getting the thing themselves from the chest is not the smartest, because you guys could inadvertently start leaving stuff everywhere, right? But then again, maybe you wouldn't know. So the route is in that chest. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to remind you or any of that jazz. But you are now here. You're not in combat. Free movement is on. Now, before everyone starts, jerking their tokens around, here's how free movement works in a big open space. It's still turn-based. So I'll say okay, everyone, you can take your next move all, as far as your movement speed into your next position. And then we'll talk about sort of what happens there. You guys should also be coordinating how you guys want to move around, right? Because, at one point, some of you were fighting some ochre jellies. One of you shot to the north, another person shot to the south, and you guys separated. And it could have gotten pretty bad for Tempe if Alexandria hadn't dispatched that Minotaur. There was pretty much permadeath for Tempe on the horizon. There's some big stuff here. You guys are also level 5, so the monsters are no longer little goblins. All right. Cool. So there you go. I'm going to now be quiet and I defer to you guys. Let me ask you this. Who is the leader? And I have a way that we can do this in a different, if you want me to, I can do this. Give me 1 second.
Thought we were more of a democratic group.
We'll talk amongst yourself for a second and before you answer that question.
And this is more like a aristocracy or anything. You know? Why do we have to have a single leader? We could all just say, "Hey guys, which way should we go? Let's go this way." Especially.
Yeah, I do think hierarchy is unjust.
Vote on things.
Anyway, who am I missing? Hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm missing. Well, as your DM, then they don't have to be the official leader of the group. But what I'm going to say is, I need to know who, when no one can do anything, who I talk to. So, would you like this ballot to be open so you can see who voted for who, or secret? And this would be one of those moments where no one's answering me. Secret ballot. All right. So let's see if this works. And create. There's a general poll over to the right. Vote for leaders. We have 4 votes in. Tempe is abstaining. So we have 1 more vote to go. It looks like, I don't know who hasn't voted yet. We have 5 votes in. That is quorum. It looks like Tyros, you are the new leader. You can decide if you're benevolent or a jackass, but I will, when there's a stall and no one's doing anything or saying anything or whatever, you are now on the hook. So I'm going to then say, Tyros, what's your party doing? Just to keep the game moving. So you are now the leader. I say, huzzah for that. All hail Tyros. All right.
Hey,
cool.
Jim, it looks like I'm concentrating on something, but because we just did a short spell, I shouldn't have any concentration on.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know how to turn it off.
You can't, but I can. Were you you were in a tuning, were you?
No, I don't think I was.
All right, it's gone. Anyone else have any weirdness? Stephanos is also concentrating.
But that's on my bless.
Oh no, you're also concentrating. Yeah. And how long does your bless last?
A full combat round.
Okay, then you guys are no longer blessed because you've done your short rest. Minus bless. Na na na. All right, Tyros, I have to remove your effects as well. Sorry, you're no longer blessed. And who were those? And Stephanos, who are those blessings brought to them by the way? Who is your god?
My chosen god?
Yeah.
Is this something I pick at random?
Well, it's in your backstory. This was another station. So, like, I've asked for backstories for 2 years, and like more or less success on those, mostly less. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to write your backstories for you, and if you don't like them, then you can change them. Otherwise, you're stuck with them. So, for instance, Dinjarin might have been. Did you have a backstory in Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can log into Fantasy Grounds and like send me a copy of it, that would be very cool. Wait, no, I have to do it because in Fantasy Grounds I have to log in before you can log in.
Yeah, I'll just write a new one.
Well, I don't mind. You did all the work of doing it, so I want to reward you for that. So I'll send you a copy of it later on. Plus, I haven't seen Fantasy Grounds in like a year. I'm curious what it looks like. So I'll pop into it.
Do we put it into D&D Beyond?
I would put it in here, so you guys can log in here whenever you want. We now have. I bought 2 copies of Foundry, so then 2 sessions can always be going. So you can just pop in here, and then over in the journal, you'll see Smite Force notes. And you can create your own inside of that Smite Force notes. You can create your own journal. Or actually, I'll create journals for you and give you rights. So then only you'll be able to see your personal journal. So there's like usually a team journal, and then so let me set up journals as another to do. That's easy. They're really handy, and you should also use this to take notes, like team notes.
My goddess will be the goddess of mercy.
Mercy, mercy. I love it. So just remember that, and when you're blessing, please, just reference your god in your role playing.
Okay.
You can give that god a name. You can also Google the gods in D&D, whatever, and choose a real god from a real pantheon, and it'll come with some really cool backstory stuff with it. Kind of fun. Other thing I noticed, hey Glory, you can't wear 2 pairs of shoes at the same time. So you have on both boots of striding and slippers of spider climbing. So choose one.
Spider ones off.
What's that?
I took the spider ones off a long time ago. The only time I've
Oh,
ever
my bad.
done them.
You're right. You know what? It's categorized under inactive effects. I missed it was under inactive. You're right. So if you put them on, those will fire off. So my bad. That was my fault. You're all good. So everyone else, all your lingering effects should be gone. Your short rest is over. That did not earn you spell slots unless you are Glory. So Glory, a short rest gets you your spell slots back.
That's
And,
news to me.
Do I still have my chicken hat?
Take it.
No, Chicken Hat ended when you. I forgot about Chicken Hat. Chicken Hat ended at the end of combat.
Oh, okay.
I think wasn't that what it did? I have to look in the chat. Scroll up in the chat and look for Chicken Hat.
It was 2 rounds.
Okay.
How long Chicken Hat lasted? Now,
Yeah, that's right.
Combat rounds or whether that's.
Yeah, I don't know if you were here for that, Milan, but he fumbled, and his role was Chicken Hat, where an uncooked chicken fell from the sky on his head, and he had to wear it for 2 rounds like a hat. So,
Could have
sorry.
been a lot worse.
So the moral of the story, guys, is don't drink martinis and write D&D stuff. That's on me. All right, guys. So Tyros, wrangle your team. Come up with a plan. I want to see either, or unless you guys are gonna take a nap. Like, let me know either way.
What are we going to do in here, guys? There are I think still some chests to loot through, and I know Glory had thought she heard a noise in a room to the west.
Well,
Is that something we all want to check out?
I'm gonna walk around this corner over here, see what's over on this other side.
Can you ping so I don't know where you're saying?
So I'm gonna walk around this way.
All right, Tyros, are you ready to let everyone loose?
Yep.
Your plan is. It sounds like your plan is to wander. All right, everyone. You are allowed to move within your normal walking distance, but stop at the end of that at that move, or if an event happens.
I am as I walk around though, I'm gonna pick things up off the floor and just throw them in front of me, just to make sure there's no traps.
How far are you throwing them in front of you?
At least 10 to 15 feet.
All right. So Curtis, as you come around that corner, let me open up the thingy. As you come around that corner, way off to the, and I think you can see it, way off to the east, you see the sort of greenish glowing light. And it seems to be coming closer, but then it pauses, and it starts walking the other direction. And then it looks like it sort of disappears, maybe down to the south for a second. Are you seeing that in real life?
I did, but it's now, the light is now gone.
Yeah, as mentioned, it seems like it's moved. So you're throwing a rock. You said 10 feet.
Yeah, about every 10, just 10 feet in front of me, just to make sure.
Okay, so do me a favor and roll an investigation check.
By the way, my dark vision, it doesn't seem to be working.
Really?
Yeah, like this area is like completely pitch black for me.
Do you have
What are you doing?
what's going on? Okay, so don't forget. Oh, hold on, stop. Don't forget, no one's allowed to move farther than their maximum distance. So if people are shooting across the room, please stop. There will be blood. Oh yeah, so your pebble doesn't even like go more than a foot. So real quick, Dinjarin, is that who else has dark vision, and is it working for them?
I do, and it seems to be working fine for me.
Okay, let me look at yours to see if there's a difference between what you're doing, and by the way, Tempe is going to come over here on his move and just hang out with you guys. So okay, hold on. Where's Tyros? Tyros is.
I'm just walking sort of underneath that arch.
All right, so attributes. I'm just looking. Yeah, you should have 120 feet of dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Dark's
not like gray like it used to.
Here's your dark vision. You see in the dark. It says you can see in the darkness shades of gray up to 60 feet.
Look at my Synth's dark vision, 120 feet.
Look at your what?
If you look on my character sheet, Synth's dark vision 120 feet. So I should be seeing up to 120 feet because I have both for my class and my type.
Oh, so you get double cases because Tyros doesn't have that. And Tyros, I'm clicking you right now, and I don't see.
Like
I don't see your.
Gray, like grayscales.
Yeah, it should be grayscale. So let me look at something real quick and see if I've inadvertently turned off token vision on this level, which I would hope not.
Yeah.
Right, because I don't
have 60 feet.
Yeah, and I don't see grayscale for you either. So let me pause your guys' movement. Oop, just so that no one's tempted to move around. And we look. All right. See, so permissions, lighting. Token vision. Restrict visibility within the scene to the vision of the controlled tokens. If disabled, the entire scene is visible. Yep. Okay, so that's supposed to be set. There's no fog of war. Blah, blah, blah. Configure vision limitations. That's not on. You know what? I think I'm going to do real quick. Let's see if this fixes it. This will probably reload for everybody. There's a module called Perfect Vision that I don't even think we use that I can disable. And okay, so your client will probably just refresh. And let me tell me if it reloads for everybody. It should just automatically do it.
Yeah,
it shouldn't.
Just starting.
Yeah, because it might just be like that plugin's overriding it or something. So we'll start there because Tempe, you didn't have that grayscale either. All right. So that's now off, and let me click on you now. No change, right?
No.
Okay. Well, we didn't need that thing anyway, so that's fine. So then let me look at your character token and vision. Vision enable allows the token to see illuminated spaces within line of sight. Vision range 120. Vision angle 360. Vision mode dark vision. I don't understand. Because who doesn't have anything is Alexandria, and she has a torch going. So I think I lit a torch last time. Right? Yep, she has a torch going, and it does use torches. If you put it out, that uses up one of your torches. So oh wait, no, you have dark vision now. Click it.
Still looks the same.
Well, that's because you're impartially lit from Alexandria. So look down the hallway a little bit.
Yeah,
See,
that's what I'm.
Yeah, so right here.
Oh, okay, I guess I see it.
Yeah.
I guess I
Okay, so yeah, you should have dark vision now. Yay!
Okay. Cool.
And you now see that green glow is back, by the way. So might as well give you some narrative. All right, so at the end of that turn, Alexandria, you are teetering on the edge of a pit. However, you're the one character that if you do fall, there will be no damage because you're a bird. Tempe has made his way around the corner. He's sort of bundled up with both Stefanos and Dinjarin. All three of you should be seeing that sort of green light flashing, or not light flashing, this green, almost like a headlight coming at you periodically, and then it sort of turns around, it seems. Tyros, you're heading, you're over towards the eastern side. You haven't drawn anything from that room. Looks like you're looking towards that chest to the north that you referenced, and then Glory is over by the chests that I think have been completely looted. The bag and the chests are completely looted over there. Glory, if your intent was to go for the rods, you need to head this direction. I just pinged the map.
Okay.
All right. So, Dinjarin, to the right, you see a doorway, and you see sort of a light pulsing of it looks like maybe a torch or fire or a lantern or something. There's just something down there. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm going to open up the floor for movement. Please don't move farther than your allotted movement amount, and go from there. Feel free to move.
Hey, Tyros, are you gonna get the rod? I don't need to go over there if you've got it.
Yeah, I'm just heading over to get it, but I'll keep it available for anyone who needs it.
Well,
All right.
I'm not gonna go over.
All right, end your movement, and then I'll regroup where you guys are, and we'll discuss.
And again, I'm trying to move slowly, but also still picking up rocks and just throwing them up in front of me as I go, just to make sure.
All right, roll an investigation. You have to remind me of that every time, so I'm just, unless you say it, it doesn't happen. So, well, you made it to that point without death, so that's good. Give me 1 second. You got to reboot your machine.
No, get my character sheet out again.
Oh, I thought you said you have to reboot your machine. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Someone just rolled something?
Yeah, you asked me to do an investigation.
Oh, yeah. Investigation. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, so 11, yeah, you didn't see anything, within the front of you, realm. Stefanos, you're also in, on a door, within a doorway. Tempe, I didn't move. Tempe's going to do the same thing. He's going to sort of hang right about here. He's not going to go in the room quite yet. So let me give you a little bit of narrative, Curtis. To chat. So, you find yourself now in an interesting situation. There's some unlucky adventurer lies slumped against the back wall of this dark, sort of stone-filmed walled room. He's draped in a deep purple robe that is tattered and singed from the battle he has clearly been through. His face is hidden by a hood, and his body is covered in scrapes and bruises. His chest is barely rising and falling. With each labored breath, he is clearly either unconscious or he's sleeping. Lying on the floor next to the stranger is a longsword, its blade stained with dried blood. Tucked into his belt is a decorative dagger, seemingly used recently. His robes are both bloodied and charred. And then off to the south wall, you see a series of crates, chests, bags, what have you.
I kind of look up at Stephanos and whisper to her what I'm seeing. I just say, "Hey, Stephanos, there's someone in here with me. I don't think he sees me yet. It looks like he's kind of asleep."
Right, and as Jinjarin says that, that green light that was down the hall seems to turn south and get dim.
I think we want to hang tight before we proceed too far. The rest of the team has no lessons learned scattered throughout the vault again.
So Tempe suggests maybe treading a little lightly. Who knows what lies ahead.
I do feel like I want to heal this person a little to get some answers on what we are coming across.
Awesome. So while Curtis takes his bio break, which that sound was a clear indication he had to go to the potty. Let's take the conversation a little bit farther north. Where are you, Glory? I'm trying to find you.
I'm over by the bridge, but I'm keeping an eye to see what is happening. I'm staying close to the majority of the group where Tempe, Stephanos, and Dinjarin are, so I have them in my view. But I'm really interested in this this bridge, so I'm kind of checking it out, and I want to see, like, is this like a one-time walkover thing, or is this like a?
Well, let me tell you. So what you see passively is that this bridge hangs over, the flowing, twisting river of lava and heat, which is unbearable, honestly. The bridge is small and narrow. It looks like it may only accommodate a single person at a time. The vault around it is giant cavernous chamber, deep underground and illuminated by the flickering light of the molten river below. The walls are composed of a dark, mysterious stone. The air is heavy with the smell of sulfur and brimstone. So why don't you roll an investigation check?
2 seconds.
I'd like to thank Midjourney for helping me generate about 1,000 different illustrations to immerse you more deeply in the story.
Sorry, which one was it?
Investigation. You're investigating. You wanted to know if this thing would hold you up. $11, just barely enough. All right, so structurally, it looks pretty sound, right? It's a little rickety. It's gonna likely hold up under your weight. You'll probably, it's not, your footing is probably not the most surest thing. So it'll probably require some sort of an athletics check to navigate it without incident. But, that DC would probably be pretty small, right? It's just really one of those, like, do you trip moments, not, are you an expert acrobat and can you fling yourself over? So yeah, you're basically, it seems safe enough.
Okay. I'm not gonna walk across. I'm just gonna kind of stay here, but I do want to ready myself. I have the Baphomet's Dragon Slayer sword. It's not attuned to yet, but I still use it as a sword. So.
Yep. And just make sure you're not in combat. So make sure that's good for all of you. Anyone who wants to equip things, now is the time to equip them. And unequip, like you can't have 2 swords equipped unless they're one-handed swords.
Quick question from the DM. The other Baphomet's items, such as the quiver and the arrows, do they need to be attuned to as well, or was it just specifically the sword?
It'll tell you if they needed to be attuned.
Oh, okay. It didn't.
Yeah. So then you're probably okay.
Okay. Probably fine. Perfect.
And since, yeah. And I'm having a hard time seeing the map myself right now. I think it's because it's too light in this room that I'm literally in real life. There we go. Now I can see. All right. All right. So that's Glory. Tyros, where are you? You're over, sort of heading north, and you're heading to the. You're heading to the rod.
Yeah, I'm heading to the rod. So my plan right now is to go get the rod and then regroup to where sort of the rest of the group is in the southeastern area.
All right. So I opened up free movement. I'll let you go ahead and make that move. On your way there, you don't see anything spectacular. You walk past the corpses of the fallen. Alexandria, you're welcome to jet over there as well.
May I open up the
Yep,
chest?
absolutely. If you can do it before Alexandria. She was thinking that would make a good perch. I kid.
The chest is empty. The chest of 3.
Wait, what?
What could have happened?
Or the
I
rod
wonder
is
what could
not
have
enough.
possibly happened. Ooh, strange. Well, you know how chests are, always leaking their items.
Tyros glances over at Alexandria and shakes his head. You really want it, you can have it.
Really
So-
shouldn't
Don't
have
worry.
With that,
exposed the thinking that I had done on this rod. It was a very nice rod that nobody cared about. It was just stuck in a thing until I opened my trap. So maybe next time I should just shut up.
Awesome. So yeah, I guess maybe there was never anything there to begin with. Starting to doubt your memory there.
Are you sure that's called gaslighting? For it, I'm on that TikTok too.
well, clearly the rod is not where I remember. And if Alexandria has taken it for her own personal gain, then fine. Who might argue?
Indeed.
Tyros
Okay.
turns around and heads back to the group.
It's just it's the perfect size for my. I did take it. It's the perfect size for my claws. Of course, I just think it would be really great to hang out with. But if we do need it, of course, I'll definitely give it.
Now,
Well, the advantage to you having it.
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the advantage Alexandria having it is that she can fly up a little bit and lock it into place in the air, of which we can use it to climb if we need.
Yeah, that was definitely what I was thinking too. All for the good of the group.
Now, in game, the only people that know this conversation are you. The two of you. Glory, you can't hear that, so that's all role playing. Like you can't, you have to unhear it. Same with those of you in the southern room. And on that note, it looks like we got someone back from the bios. So I've unlocked movement. It is free. You can take your next move. However, in that room, if you decide to move in, just sort of give me a heads up. So why don't all of you that are outside of where Dinjarin is in that southern room take your next move?
I don't know if Tippy would go in too, or if he would just kind of come into the door and just.
He mentioned that he was going to sort of hang tight because there's that he keeps seeing, every maybe 30 seconds or so he sees those green light sort of come down the hall, pause, and then turn around. And he's actually going to roll an insight check on that while you guys move to your next moves. I'll let you guys, those who aren't in the room, if you want to make your way to the room, as long as it's sort of a beeline, do so. If you're going to take any side trips or a different route, let me know before you move. Otherwise, he's going to roll. What was he going to roll? What was I doing? Can you guys help me out? Like we were talking about, Tempe was going to stay out there and.
Not investigation, but insight. I think you said insight check.
Oh yeah, insight. Yeah, that was it.
Seeing the light, the green light.
Thank you. My brain went sideways. So he rolls solid. Yeah. So he's a ranger. So he's a ranger familiar with danger. I said it. And our last episode was ranger danger. Anyway, he sees that this is something that's clearly patrolling, and he wants to stay out of its sort of light range. You know, it's he notices the light's coming from about 20 feet in the air. There's anywhere from like 15 to 20 feet. So it's a significantly tall thing. But it gets just about, you know, its light gets just beyond the beam, the cross beam that is sort of on that eastern hallway, and it stops and turns around. Right. So, you know, before he goes any farther, when you guys are sort of done, he's going to hang tight just in case anything comes down that hall. But he wants to sort of investigate the area that you guys are in, or have you guys maybe do it before you guys proceed any farther east. All right. So Tyros and Alexandria, did you guys want to make your way any place? Gloria, did you want to make your way any place?
Yeah, I'm heading close to where Tyros is, to the sort of entrance of the room that Dinjarin and Stefanos are.
All right. Did you want me to
30 feet, or do you want me to restrict?
I want you to move your move and then move again. So don't move 5,000 feet. Just move the first. Just do it in 2 steps. Because you never know. Like you may step on a trap.
Yep.
And as soon as David gets into place, Alexandria, you can take your turn as soon as David gets into his place. So tell me when you're there, David. I'm sorry, Tyros. All right, you're right up against Tempe now. All right, Alexandria, you're up.
I would like to hover about 5 feet above the ground, which will increase my movement and also, you know, hopefully protect me from traps.
Absolutely. So yeah, so you'll be off the ground about 5 feet towards the walls. It's it's about 20 feet there, but in the middle it gets significantly higher, right? Probably anywhere from 30 to 40 feet up. So go ahead and make your 60 feet of movement. And if you trigger anything, then we will undo it. All right, so that was safe. And within eye shot now are Tyros and Tempe.
And then can I take more the second?
Yep. You can take your second. You can take your second now.
All right, I'll go line up behind them, and I will touch down on the floor behind them.
And Tempe leans over to you and or sort of whispery across Tyros and says,
"Hey, just a heads up that you light up like a beacon with that torch you're holding. So, you know, I know that you struggle with vision issues and you're vision challenged in this vault. But I don't know if you have a lantern that you may want to consider lighting up or something other than a torch, or because at least a lantern would be directional. I don't know, just something to think about as we head towards, like, I'm afraid you're going to draw the attention of this green whatever it is that keeps coming down this hall. So maybe, like, could you step into the room, or or just out of eyesight?
And out of game, if you're trying to figure out how to, so to the south, just to the right here is the entrance right there, right
Gotcha.
here.
Okay.
Follow actually. So one of the things that the investigation I should have told you, Dinjarin, is there's like, if you look to the north, Alexandria, you see there's like bloody footprints that sort of turn into bloody drops that sort of head into this room. That was my bad, Dinjarin. And next to where you're sitting is like more bloody drops. Like something is bleeding that headed in here. Your investigation check should have resulted in that. I wrote this so long ago that I forgot about that. So.
Because I was gonna ask about that, but okay, cool.
All good, yeah. Yeah, they head those footprints head deeper into this room. All right, Alexandria. So you're in place.
Mm-hmm.
So what you guys all see is, there's a little, it looks like a little makeshift campfire going, right? And I described the gentleman in the robe sort of like hunched in the back, and it is not clear. It's not clear if he's awake or not. It looks like he's sleeping. His breathing seems not mortally wounded, but a little labored. All right. Now, Tyros, you're the last man standing. Tempe's going to stand. Are you going to hang with Tempe, and is that where you want to be? Is there anything you want to do outside in? Tempe's going to step off to the side just a little bit, right? So he has a little bit of cover from the post, in case anything comes from the north. Anything you want to do while you're standing there?
Yeah. Me actually, I saw Tempe kind of get a little bit of cover from the post, and I think I'm going to take a cue from him and just pop right over here and do the same, get some cover.
Awesome.
I have no idea what that green light is.
100%. And is there anything now that you're in place? Is there anything that you want to do before I go back to the other team, or do, or know, or say, or whatever?
I am going to ready myself.
All right. And for what? For something comes down the hallway?
Something comes down the hallway with that clearly looks like it's going to injure or attack the group.
Awesome. And so, Glory, you see Tyros sort of press up against this, against this pillar, and be ready. And you're also ready for anything. So you guys have that sort of like little quadrant covered. Glory, is there anything that you want to do while you're hanging tight? You've investigated the bridge to the north. Anything else you want to know or see before we go down south?
Yeah, I kind of want to do like just a scan. I'm kind of up against this pillar. I think it's a pillar. And I kind of want to look up and around and again, just see if there's anything I noticed, see if there's any sort of warning.
Yeah, so you look, so just passively, you see that to the east that lava gets wider, right? And it opens up, and it looks like from where you're sitting, it looks like maybe the ground continues around that pillar just slightly. It would be tricky, but it seems like you could go around that pillar to the right. To the northeast, right where I'm pinging. It's just for you. So it's doable, but it's a little tight, right? It's not a natural walkway. We'll just put it that way. But also a little farther to the east, you see what looks like a bridge, or what used to be a bridge, right? Sort of collapsed partially into the lava, and then just beyond it, you make out this sort of yellowish, glowing eye from this what looks to be maybe a giant skull sort of carved into the wall or placed on the wall or something. You're too far away to know too much about it. If you want to know anything else, that's just passively what you see. Let me know. Oh, one other thing you see is that that lava does sort of continue and then arc up to the north, right? So when it goes west and then sort of curves up to the north. And there you go. And just beyond what looks like the back wall of the vault, you spy some more treasure chests and crates almost due north across that bridge. All right. And is there anything more? Do you want to know anything more deeply? You have to roll for it. And same with you, Tyros and Samandi. What do you guys think Tempe would do? I've been trying to play him like he would, sort of, slow and steady wins the race, because he's almost, been dead here recently. Do you think he didn't?
I think you're playing him well. I think he's a little cautious, especially after that Minotaur came out, and none of us know what this light is.
I would love some guidance on this, because my brain's foggy from almost dying. It seems that we know mostly what's to the west. We have an idea of what's to the north. Dinjarin seemed to sort of feel his way up to this point, but I'm a little worried that we've not considered what's to the east beyond knowing that there's some sort of menacing light. I don't know what Glory knows, right? But I just wanted to share I'm not convinced that this area that we're in is particularly safe.
No, yeah, and you're probably right. I'm not sure
And
either, but I don't.
and I'm wondering-
I don't want to go anywhere until.
So, do you think he'd roll like he'd want to do perception or hear or investigate, or do you think he would want to do any of that sort of thing?
I think we would want to find out what Dinjarin and Stefanos are uncovering in their room, because we don't know what's in there or that they've even seen anybody yet. But they're hanging out in there for a little bit for a reason.
Right, and as you sort of say that, and you know, to Tempe, you know, you see, you know, the front of his outfit, any sort of metallic item, sort of like glisten in that green glow as that whatever it is came down the hallway, lit him up, and then slightly lit him up, and then turned around. So the good news is your guys aren't within eyesight of whatever that is. Now we're going to take the story into the room.
Really quick with that, I think Tempe would know to at least hide himself a little bit more behind, just to make sure nothing lights him up and could see him. Like I think if he's
like right about here,
a little bit, he would make sure he was out of the way.
All right, so I'll move him. I think you're right. I think he's right there. Yeah, I think he's just really worried about just the immediate area and then sort of what's happening east, right? Because it's all the unknown. Again, my assumption is he'd be a little paranoid after what he's been through. Awesome. So let's talk that room. So you're in there, and you see just for those who don't remember, here's a picture. I'm not going to give you the entire narrative again. But that fellow is at the end of a room, sort of slumped over.
I would want to know, like, as I was kind of slowly walking a little bit closer, I would be staring at the robe, trying to, have I seen this before? Like, do I recognize these robes? Have I seen these on someone else? Like, is this
roll a history check.
Group I may recognize? Of course, these are all things that I'm not good at, guys.
No, you just think, man, that is a badass robe, and it sort of matches your outfit. You kind of want a purple robe because you got some purple flare on you now. But yeah, you know, you're sort of enamored, and it's not making any sense. Anyone else want to roll? I can do a for Stefanos and Alexandria. Do you want me to do a quick team roll for you guys?
I can do a history roll too.
All right, let me do that for you. 1 second. History.
Because my intelligence is not high enough to know things. I'm just like, that looks nice.
And I'm going to share the DC. So you have to. So I'm going to share the DC with you, so you'll see what it'll take to know anything, to know about these robes. You're trying to get a 16. By the way, this is one of my favorite little modules that we have. It looks like David's going to get a bio. Anyway, I don't know how much longer we'll play after this, but I've requested a roll from both Alexandria and Stefanos.
I was just gonna say I do have to drop in like 5 minutes, so.
Yeah, Alexandria, that's a big fail. Stefanos, there should be a screen on the. Yeah, there it is. Oh, for a second, you almost had it.
Thanks.
Yeah. So neither of you, again, like, you know more. You also think they're sort of badass looking and a little scary. Oh yeah, you just didn't do it inside of the thing. So let me end this. There we go. Yeah. So none of you are really clear. You know, it's just, you have this sense of familiarity, but who knows?
All right, with that, I want to slowly open up the crate that's next to me, just like as quietly and as slowly as I can. I don't want to disturb the person who's sleeping.
All right.
Yeah.
Go for it. And if it says it's empty, tell me, because it's not supposed to be.
It does say empty. I was just about to say, wah, wah, wah. Nothing in there.
Is there anything in any of them?
the bag had something that I just don't. I opened it just to see. I didn't look at it. I closed it immediately, but it did have things in it. I don't know about the bag next to Stefanos because I don't think I'm close enough to actually open it.
Give me 1 second.
I'll have to double click on it to check.
And hold on, there's one more thing that was supposed to be in it. And all right, now go ahead and look at it. I put the stuff back in it. Something happened in translation here.
Can we both look in the bag, or is it just in Jarn?
You guys are welcome. All three of you are welcome to scramble and grab whatever you want. It's a trust-based system. I don't moderate it. So once the stuff is gone, it's gone.
Can I take the lantern? Oh, it's already gone. Okay, look, I know one of you took it, but despite all evidence to the contrary, being that I'm an owl, I am the only one in the entire party who needs it.
Lantern.
And
I think I took that.
Sure, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. It'll
Just do a trade. I know that Stefanos and yeah.
It'll be better for all of us if I have it, because if I fumble and I have a torch and I am ensconced in flame, that's not good for anyone.
So you hear sort of like groaning coming from the end of the hallway, or end of this room. And Stefanos, from where you stand, when you're done looting, you do see that there's a pool of blood, and he potentially could use some healing.
Yeah, I'm gonna move over to him and pass him a potion of healing so I can heal him a little bit to get some answers.
Yeah, you'll have to use it on him because he's not awake. But let me put free movement. No one else move other than Stefanos. So why is it not letting that happen? I can't for some reason change the movement type. Oh, okay. Now it just went like 3 times in a row. I don't know. It was queued up. And you can move beyond if you want.
Okay.
As Stefanos walks past me, I just kind of put my hand on her shoulder and say, like, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
Pretty sure.
Does someone just what's going on with the lantern? Does he have a lantern on suddenly?
I have a little cone. I have a lantern.
Okay. I wonder, so when you aim at him, the lantern lights, there's a little lantern icon. Can you aim away for a second? I'm curious what happens. Okay, so somehow everybody gave him a lantern too. Was he targeted or something? Don't move. You can just aim directions. What's that?
We did the request trade, so it shouldn't have given it to him.
It's weird because he says he has a lantern lit. So let me turn that off.
While Stefanos is over there, kind of helping him, I'm gonna just make myself at the ready. I kind of pull out my maul a little bit just in case. Not in a way where it looks like I'm gonna hit him, but in a way where if he tries something, I could clearly run over and help.
Cool.
Sounds good. So can I roll for the potion of healing?
You can. And what's that big blue thing? Did someone lay a template down?
Oh, I think that was me by accident.
Yeah, I think that was the original cone of the lantern.
There. No, the lantern should just be a light source.
No, I'm reloading my screen because I had that weird glitch, and I think it was where the lantern was initially pointing when Alexandria had lit it.
Yeah, so Alexandria sort of lights up, so like you can now see more clearly Brother Samuel, and it looks like whoever's character is blue. Alexandria, you I think have 2 lights on. Hold on. Get rid of that one. There you go. Now you should have just 1 light. Perfect. And also you have Brother Samuel targeted for some reason. Or whoever someone has him targeted. Whose character does? Who's the blue dot?
I do. I have it
Okay.
targeted.
You also have Alexandria
No
targeted.
question. Oh.
See if you have anyone else targeted, because you probably had him targeted when you were blessing people.
No, I don't. It doesn't look like I have Alexandria targeted. I just have Brother Samuel.
Oh, does anyone else have her targeted? All right, well, roll your heal. So you just roll the potion on it.
Wait.
I heard someone drink something. Did that?
I thought
Did
that I thought that was in the game.
Wasn't that in the game? The sound? So Stephanos, can you talk out loud? I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yep, sorry. I'm pouring this potion of healing into Brother Samuel's mouth.
Oh, okay, perfect. And with that, he presses himself up against that back wall to sort of stand up. He's a little dazed, and you realize that this isn't someone you're going to immediately trust, right? There's like the purple robes, the menacing, the bloody daggers. There's just too many unknowns. So he sort of stands before you, draped in a deep purple robe. He's tall and he's lean, and his face is hidden by a hood. His eyes are cold and calculating, and he speaks in a low, manipulative voice. He's clearly reluctant to give away any information, but you can tell he's in pain, and he knows he will need the help of others to escape this vault. And he will use any means necessary to achieve his goals. It's just very much you can read it in his character. He's clearly a master of deception. Just look into his eyes. And his words are laced with lies. His motivations are unclear, but it's obvious that he will use whatever means, as I mentioned, to get what he wants. He clears his voice, and in a raspy, hushed voice says,
I'm Brother Samuel. How have you come upon me in such a remote, unknown place?
I just
And you-
stumbled in here.
and you think to yourself, like, something about this doesn't seem right. And he starts to sort of wipe the blood from his face, dabbing his bruises and his wounds, sort of in an odd, familiar comfort. And, clearly reluctant to share too much information about himself, for why he's in the vault, he shows some willingness to speak to you, right? And he knows he can't make it out of here on his own. And how creepy is that he's talking in the chat over there? Is that huh?
That's awesome.
Right, so- Well, hold on one second. So, while the words do not openly flow from him, they do flow. And his tone is measured and controlled and labored from whatever exhaustion and physical damage he's taken. Not to speak of the psychological damage and trauma that he's undergone. Your inner voice is like, he clearly came through in other means. He didn't cross your path. But how? And why? And honestly, is he hiding something?
So tell me, traveler. Tell me your tale. I ask again. How did you come upon this place?
And you realize you're going to need to be crisp about what you want to know. And, how well you work the situation is going to say an awful lot about the next day or so of your life. And with that, knowing that you guys can roll history, investigation, all sorts of things, you can still see him before you dive too deeply into conversation. You're not in combat. Like, I didn't put you in combat. So this is, I think someone mentioned that I don't have, that we haven't done any NPC chatting lately. So, hello. NPC chatting. We're going to pick up here when we play next time. Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Awesome. I know that Dinjarin has to drop. So we will play again on Friday. So just my little recap for myself is that you guys have made your way deeper into the crypt. You've discovered this sort of menacing green light that comes down a hallway, pauses, spins around. It seems like it's patrolling. Glory discovered a small one-person bridge that looks stable enough to cross. It sort of heads north. There's some Glory knows there's some treasure that way. No one else knows, just so Glory can remember that. In this room, you've found some treasure chests and sacks and what have you. Alexandria hooked herself up with some light so she can finally sort of see directionally, right? You found Brother Samuel, right? Sort of bleeding out in the corner, healed him up, and I think that healing made him a little bit more likely to talk to you than if you had, shaken him awake or attacked him. So at least he's open for a conversation, but you passively realize that he's probably not to be trusted completely, right? But he could be beneficial, right? So Gloria, you don't know any of this because you're out there. Tyros, you don't know any of this because you're out there. Tempe doesn't know any of this because he's out there. But the rest of you do know those things. So sort of think about it for the next time we play. He's look at it. His lips are moving. He's ready to talk. So think about what you're going to want to know. It's pretty weird, right? Like, who expected company? And also, did he know those people, right? These things are all running through your head. Like, there's charred bodies that you walked across. Why is he not a charred body? Many unanswered questions.
Or is
And
he the dragon himself? Dun, dun, dun.
Could be. And we'll discover those things and more when we play next week. So until the next time on the Smite Force Chronicles. Thanks, everybody. And for those who celebrate Valentine's Day, have a great Valentine's Day. It's coming up. I am not one of those people. So, you do you.
No, the question is if your wife is one of those people. It doesn't matter if you do.
To quote Michelle, to quote Michelle, can we not do anything on Valentine's Day? Would that be okay? Could our gift to each other be not doing anything on Valentine's? I love her to death.
It sounds like me.
Yeah, we'll go out. We'll celebrate each other's love because that should happen all the time, not once a year. And then we'll do it when it's not like impossible to book and everything's 10 times expensive. So
Right.
To hell with the man, I say. But anyway, you guys are all awesome. Hopefully we didn't do any fighting this time, but hopefully you had fun. See you guys.
Lots of fun.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you.